the way I approach my music is I like making hits. I like making pop music. That's cool. I just knew that that's the stuff that's going to propel. And then when I get to that point, like I can keep using my voice and people going to finally hear me. Like my music going to be hot. Like my music's not really the political side of me. Political side of me when I'm off the court. Like that's why I be trying to let people know, like, I'm not doing the politics in my music. My music is when I'm saying, yo, we gonna come over and have a good time no matter who you are. But outside of that, when I have a platform, I have a voice, of course, that's for me. That's better for me. For me, it's better to use my voice over there to approach certain things because then I could do a lot more clearly as opposed to leaving it a song. Now you're thinking one way or another. When I leave, oh, my songs is hits. No matter where it's at in the world, people bumping that. But they know when I come around, I come up to the table or when I come to schools and I try to talk to kids and stuff. That's the message that I want to get across. You know what I mean? Facts. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to finally have you on here, man. I've been bumping the tape.
Yo, how you like it? You enjoying it?
I go through like phases. Every album, every tape, you go through your phases. You like certain songs, like like Look Good, Feel Good. That was like my one for a minute. Like the little Yeezus thing at the end. That you put. When I heard that, I was like, yo, he got the little. I was hyped, bro. I was like, this is the Yeezus shit I've been waiting for. I never seen anyone else do it. And then Outside is kind of like my jam right now. Like I'm bumping Outside a lot. Flavors is my first one, of course. But yeah, man, it's a good tape, man. Like I fuck with it. Fuck with it a lot.
Yo, thank you. That means a lot. Just the different sounds, because that's what we like attempted to really wanted to do is like put together a mix of different sounds into like one project. So it's nice, man. It's nice that you fuck with them. Especially the end on Look Good, Feel Good. That was we did that through Omnisphere.
Really?
It's one PST, yeah. So it gave me it was like a little guitar sound. So I added some distortion and I pushed the sustain on it. And then we got that sound and then just added on it. It was sick.
Yeah, bro. That was the one, man. That was the one. And like me, I seen Hash from the jump. Like I was there when Hash first started even making music. So like seeing where he is now, like just watching the progression, like it's cool, man. I see the waves are picking up, The waves are picking up.
Just the growth process there is crazy.
It is, man. So with you, like, how long have you been making music for?
Since forever, like basically since I was in the 6th grade. That's when I like can really like trace it back to like this was like me like really trying to do this, like trying to make a living from it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not make a living, but like knowing that I wanted to. I just kind of want to like to like make music. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. I didn't know if it was gonna work out or not. You know what I'm saying? But it ended up working out for real.
It did, man. It did. So do you do like a lot of stuff with Hash or Kung Fu Necktie, or like what do you do as far as like your I know Hash DJs too, but do you do any other music thing besides just making? Like what's like your other grind right now?
So like my number one thing is I'm being an independent musician, but I do side stuff like websites, little stuff like that. Like all the like people don't know like most musicians got like a bunch, like if you're like independent really trying to flow, like you have a bunch of like music type trades that you do on the side, like to make it work. Like that's why I like the DJ and have yeah, like because you gotta be able to pay for it. So
you do, bro. You do. I'm training and fucking Ubering and delivering to keep this going. So I feel you, bro. You gotta keep the hustle going to get to the next one. You got to keep feeding it with something, bro. So I feel you. The independent grind is a tough one, man. It's a tough one, but I mean, we all got to start somewhere. So we just got to go through our process. That's it.
Exactly. It's all a process. It's really all a process, and it's like the more I learn, it's like you could and like hit a stumbling block, and it might feel like damn, like it'll almost make you feel like it's taking you back to where you first started, but you got like almost remind yourself like, nah, I made it this far. Like this is just another like bump in the road, and like let's just keep it pushing.
Yeah, man, that's the truth. So who are some of like your favorite like influences as far as like where you get your ideas from or music sound from? Anyone in particular?
Um, I would say off top, Yay, Cuddy, Trav, Common, Rocky, Big Sean, uh, Big L, Pac, Iggy, Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Michael Jackson, The Weeknd, Luther Vandross, Justin Timberlake. You know what I'm saying? Outkast, Young Thug. I listen to like all that. That's like all like the flavors that I'm like, I noticed something and now I was like, yo, there's some good ass shit here. Like the bar of wordplay, like even like Ludacris, like he might not be on right now anymore, but people don't like people. I feel like people slept on how many bars he actually had. Like Ludacris had a
I
lot
think
of
they did.
bars.
I think they did. They slept a lot because because he always had such like a big pop star like appeal that I feel like a lot of his lyricism kind of got swept under the water.
Yeah, they just got like swept under the rug almost. Like some shit on here, like on a lot of his stuff, like really saying like some bars for it, like
He was. So like, so I'm a big Ye fan too. So like, Ye is like one of my favorite like just people overall because he's always like trying to take shit to the next level. Every time I see Ye do something, like damn, like I ain't. I thought I was one. I thought I was gonna move up. He's already making like three more moves. How do you feel about him trying to be president?
yay.
Yeah.
You know what's wild is, bro? Like, because you see how we have both the candidates that we do now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, when he first dropped that he was going to run, I'm telling everybody, like, yo, this is like, we should probably just get behind Ye, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think people were shocked because people don't remember that Ye is the same Ye that wrote Jesus Walks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't remember that's the same Ye. So they like fully like liberal, like, I guess, ideologies.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess most people get shocked when they find out that like a lot of black people were, you know what I mean, raised in church, raised on the ideals of like family and like having a, you know what I mean, unit and family values and stuff like that. So like I think that shocks a lot of people because those don't tend to really be the outspoken ones. So like and especially like Ye going through Hollywood, becoming one of the richest black men in the world. Like I don't think they expected his platform to be what it technically is, especially after the Jesus is King and all that drop in. Like that obviously when a guy gets saved, that like shocks the world, you know, shocks the secular world, right? So it's just like crazy to see that. I just figured, I thought, hey, it's a good idea for change. And I still even think that. I'm just looking at it like Josh wants to run in 2024 again. Like, I hope he doesn't burn out all his resources. And I know he won't because he's smart. He has a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of assets, a bunch of revenue streams. He doesn't have to really worry about that. You know what I mean? So
Doesn't.
it's just like the timing right now is kind of too critical. And like, you could almost see the polar opposites in like the party, like the major parties right now. So it's like, not right now type shit.
Yeah, not right now either. I think he definitely like you said before. I think a lot of the culture, a lot of the outspoken black people in the culture, like the whole like God and Jesus thing, isn't what is perceived. Even like there's a lot of religious stuff that the gospel, all that stuff that is really in like in our culture too. But that's not what like leaves the mainstream. So I feel like people definitely don't always associate black people with being that same way instantly. So him using his platform for that thing is actually fantastic. I don't think he's not going to win it all this year. Like this is like it's not even a joke. But 2024, he might have an actual shot. Like if he's using this to practice for the 2024, I think it'll be a good move. I don't know, like him actually being president, just like I like the idea because I like the idea of like he can do whatever he wants. I can do whatever I want. Self belief, like you got it, you can do it. But him having that platform though, I don't like. Yeah, I always want Kanye to be Kanye, but I don't want my president to be doing some of the stuff I want Kanye to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Kanye's in the studio, I'm happy. Kanye's in the studio as president, I'm like, you better get your ass out there and fight for my country. You know what I mean? So that way, there's just a lot of things that I'm like, I like the idea of it, but I'm like him actually having a role. I'm like, I don't know, yay.
I could see him in Senate. I could definitely see him in like Senate or the House. I could see him in the House of Representatives.
If he wants to really get into politics, I'm hyped to see it because like that's just he'll bring so much different stuff to the table. I saw him and Elon doing it had a little photo shoot. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about, but it's just like that's like just such a great fucking character in the fucking game of life
Oh
right
yeah,
now. Just
and I think it's a good thing because it motivates everybody to stay engaged with politics. Like, I think it's like people are cheating themselves because like, right, we had this system, right, and it's based on literally how our lives are lived in this country, right? But yet, most people don't want to have conversations about it. They don't want to discuss their ideas about it.
that's
They want
true.
to. So this isn't like sports. Like this is our livelihood, right? So like we probably should be engaged. Granted, the people that like lead us to be engaged in it, because like we do need to constantly be involved and excited about politics, people's ideologies. How do we make it fit in this beautiful land? As opposed to, I don't want to have the conversation. I don't even want to break down why I believe what I believe because I'm just going to run through some talking points again until you get tired, and then hopefully I can say I won that argument. But that's not progress.
That's not. It's not, especially this year,
Like
man.
getting excited and know what we stand on and be like, yeah, it's wild. So like, I look at it right. Like if we really all knew what we stand on and could stand on it confidently, people wouldn't have an issue because they could say now we all know how we can navigate, right? But now we got people not really but knowing what to believe. Some people following certain talking points, and that goes for both ends. You can
Hmm.
see people that literally don't have any idea as to why they believe what they believe. They're just going along with the herd, right? But then you also got some people that know exactly why they believe what they believe. That's why it's important that you give people a full scope of like both options so that they can come to a real clear and conscious like decision and say, this is what I stand for, this is what I believe, and I directly put that, you know what I'm saying? And then I can navigate after that. Otherwise, you're gonna have the chaos you got right now, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this age of identity, you know?
Man, you ain't lying, man. You are not lying, dude. There's so much stuff. I'm just like, people are just ready to fight for no reason. It's like this person said this person said that. And a lot of times people aren't even talking about the same, like they're not even arguing the same talking points. That's one of the big things I want to talk about. Like I went to have some of this shit in my podcast. Is like people were just arguing like, oh, this because of this, or they were arguing statistics against someone's like historical experience, or it's just a lot of stuff. Like people weren't fighting to put the same bullet points in their conversation. So it's just like a lot of people yelling, but not a lot of people communicating. Man, it's fucked up.
Right.
2020 is a wild show, man. It's a wild show.
Yeah, it's definitely a wild show, man. It's, yes.
So what
But
about you? So the new video you guys got out right now, the Nicki one.
mhm.
How long did you guys to shoot that? What was that process like? Getting like the video person, like so yeah, whose Jeep was that? That was a nice Jeep. Like the scene was nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had planned that out. I finally got a day where we could get everybody together. We rented the car off Turo. We got the Jeep off Turo. Then we basically just went downtown, shot from like I say maybe like 5 or 6 to like 11, 12 at night. So it was like a 6 hour shoot. But we got it all done in one night. It's a film at the end during the credits, like shit like that. They were also like driving the other car, so like you could see like when we're like downtown getting the like driving shots. And then my one homie got like he had like at the time he had one drone, now he has like three, but he brought his
Shit.
drone out, so we had the drone shots too. Yeah, so we are getting a mix of both. So it was a good time, man. I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is like the first time for like the gang, like because we're independent, right? So like just like putting it together independent with a budget, you know what I'm saying, and like making a film was like it's a good drawing. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, man. It looked cool, man. The drone shots were epic as hell too, man. What made y'all pick Till Three as your group name?
Oh, till three.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because we were always every time we hung out it was always on some late night, either Fishtown, like house party. It was always till late, and then we figured it was like three of us, so it was like always up late till three. It was a recording, but that's like kind of where the time also representing like because most parties close at 2, right? So 3 is an hour
Gotcha. The
past
after
2.
hour.
So
Okay.
it's like,
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm glad to have you on here, man. I just wanted to like make sure. I mean, fuck with the tape, you know, and me and Hash go way back. So I was like, yo, man. I only ever actually met you like in Philly at all. I don't think so.
nah, we met one time. It was at Kung
At,
Fu. I'm pretty sure it was Kung
is that
Fu.
Kung Fu?
Yeah. So
I must.
I remember shaking your head before. It was either at Kung Fu or we low. No, you know we met? We met at the Jersey show in Marlton.
Okay. Okay. Damn,
At
must be.
the meeting house.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. That's
That was
crazy.
like a little bit ago. That was a bit ago. And we only did like 2 shows over there, which was crazy. Yeah, I think it was at the first one, either the first or the second. Can't remember, but I feel like it was the first one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, it just shows how fast like shit could change, man. God damn.
It's crazy to see the dynamic though between Jersey and Philly, like how the music scene is like there's like non-existent where we came from.
Yeah.
It's like not even a thing. And then people complain about Philly. So to me, it's crazy because people be like, "Oh, not even a scene in Philly." I was like, "Man, y'all don't even know." I came from it was like, "Oh, nobody was even trying to do music for real. Like they were, but everybody going to circles the scene. They don't know. They don't know how to. There was like no network to do shows, no venues,
Nothing.
nothing.
Nothing, man. Nothing. Like I remember back in the day in Jersey, like we had one show in like the Echelon Mall back in the day, like back in like old, like 2012 Hash was in there just doing it in the mall. And I was like, that's crazy. Like I can't even believe how much the scenes between both spots is just so fucking different, dude. Like that shit is just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't even know, like, how do y'all even going about the booking? Because you just calling a place by place, so you kind of networking through the DM. Like, what's that process like?
I mean, it's different. Like it depends on different spots. Like right now, I got my homie Jason trying to get us his venue. I think this spot at like Milk Boy we're trying to do a show, but it's like that is like something that obviously you got like send him a press kit and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But other times like Hash already got the in, I was already throwing the event at Kung Fu, so it'll just be like he'll just book the events and like out of like you know what I'm saying, and then go from there. I mean, book the artist and then just like do a show out of there because it's like he's already spinning for the night. So he's like, I might as well make it interactive, try to pull more people out. So like, let me just make it a show. So that's how kind of where that came from. Then it's also the aspect where like I'll be like, or I try to get like a warehouse space. You know what I'm saying? Like we did for the Till 3 party, we got like got a spot, put some bread up, bring the city out, and then it's like make it a party, but it's still a show. You know what I mean? So you get like it's cool. That's how Blueface was throwing his own effects. Like people don't know that. They try to say he's dumb, but he was ahead of the curve. He was throwing his own shows. So
I didn't know he was doing it like that. It's crazy.
yeah, he was throwing his own shows, and then like I guess he was like renting out what would be like our equivalent of like our VFWs, like the lodges and stuff like that. He was renting them out, getting a DJ and just throwing shows and selling his own tickets. Next thing you know.
Damn, that's grind right there, man. I think a lot of people don't even know like what you gotta do in the beginning. It's just like, yo, scrap it up how you can, man, and just get out there and get into the grit and set it up. Like that's
You got to.
really the whole game, man.
You got to. Like it's like weird because no matter what, that's why I be telling people like the label stuff isn't really gonna work. It's just like a bank loan anyway. So you might as well figure out how you can get your money up and work with that. Because
It is,
otherwise,
man.
it's just
It really is, man. Like watching, like I've been watching Kanye on Twitter talk about him trying to fight for his masters, like trying to get that. I don't know how bad. Like when you're young, like the music industry seems like, oh my god, they got all this money, they got all this stuff, they famous, that's the life. As you get older, you learn about how that shit really is, man. That shit is fucked up. Like the independent game is definitely, I think, is the best way to be because you get the exposure with it, but you're not actually you're not gonna have any ownership of anything. Nip had it right, man. Nip had it right. Like God rest his soul, but like he had it right, man. Own your own stuff, you know, control your own stuff, and then make it from there. You make at least I don't know. I saw one account with the how much you make more if you own your stuff versus the label, but it's like at least like most people making like 3 times as much, even though they might sell a third of the CDs or a third of like
Mm-hmm.
this album sales, but they're making 3 times more of the money though. So it's just like, you gotta pick what you want.
When you look at Brad Fire, like a year and a half ago, this is a year and a half ago. So I don't know how much more it is now. Independent, you can pull it between him and his manager. They're pulling in $39,000 a month.
Wow.
A year and a half. So,
Wow. He's pulling through that a month?
a
Damn.
month. And this is all Spotify analytics. This is all the Apple, all the like analytics from the drop in release distributor, and just like doing a specific geotagging marketing. Then because once he got on with that song with Shock Busy, they just like put their foot on the gas, and then just like was able to like take the breath from that, and then like pushing it, and then did the advertising, pushing his project in a certain direction. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Got his brand solidified, and just so it's like that's the cool part. That's why I feel like me and Hash are right now. It's like we're in that between that divide of where it's like now we're like people can see what lane we're about to go in. Now we're like it's all about like now taking off in that like direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out, okay, now we got like our little niche market, like, and it's obvious, like now we gotta the foot guessing like that, and then just see what happens from there, you know. But I'm not hoping to. For me, I just need 1,000 people that buy everything I do, and I'll have a sustainable career, be able to raise a family, pay bills, have health care, do all that. Just need 1,000 people. So imagine those people that got 1,000,000 people that buy whatever they do.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Kanye can't get his masters right now. It's because these labels know how much money that brings in. They know how much Kanye's money is not only just paying for people's jobs, he's paying for multiple artists' careers that are under that same label. I guarantee that.
Oh,
All the
definitely.
art going on, he's paying for that through his masters.
He's definitely keeping the lights on in that thing, man. Like they can't charge enough for how much they're making forever off those masters, man. So that just goes to show you, no matter what the game is, like that whole industry, just like the labels game is to keep whatever makes the most money forever and ever. Now with Tory becoming independent, I mean, obviously he has the whole case thing going on with Meg, but I wonder how much he's going to be making. Well, I don't know if he's going. I don't know him coming back. I don't know. Like the way he is right now, his career. We'll see how after the case goes. But
Yeah.
I wonder how much he'll be making because he has a lot of stuff owning his stuff now.
The crazy part is it doesn't matter. As long as he owns his masters, all that bread, he's going to be good for the rest of his life.
And those songs are going to come no matter what. Like, after this time, I guarantee you that people end up going back to it. Like, it's not.
Yeah. Cancel culture is getting canceled. Like we're literally in the slow grind process of watching cancel culture being exposed for cancel culture because people that are getting canceled are getting canceled and people that really shouldn't be getting canceled are getting canceled, even though people that should be getting canceled are still getting confused. That is because all it is confusing. We're slow watching the eradication of cancel culture. So I think that's going to be one of the things that'll story in the long run. Like right now, moment in time, there's so many combatives of political ideology.
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. The cancel culture is definitely on its way down because people are getting canceled that shouldn't be canceled. Like there's definitely just people getting thrown out there. Somebody put one bad tweet out there, and you just all of a sudden you getting canceled for no reason. You ain't even do nothing. So the validity of what the fucking canceling even stood for is kind of like now it's just people just doing basically like Salem witch trials and hunting witches for no reason.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel 2020 is, man. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy because it's the dichotomy of, And I just started understanding this in 2020. In America, what we've low-key have done is we have the privilege to be upset about certain things in America, right? So say we were in a third world country, a lot of our issues that we have the privilege of calling is America, we wouldn't even be pondering, we wouldn't even be thinking of. It wouldn't be crossing our mind in a different area. So what opened my mind up to it is like, I stand with the Me Too movement. I think that women are wanted and sexually assaulted or taken advantage of. My issue is when people representative of that movement are supporting somebody or a certain candidate or just a public figure that was against that Me Too, but just at the current moment in time is productive to the agenda. So like for me, that's when I'm like, that's the thing that takes me away from a lot of these big movements, as we see, because look at, and like with the one, I don't even have to bring up the name. We've seen instead of like the innocent people within that demographic and seeing people that have actually caused pain to the community since they're of a certain ethnicity, we've watched be uplifted and almost due to the instance of brutality. So it's like, we got women and children being snatched up every day. What are we doing? Like, we should be protesting that. You know what I mean? We should be protesting the slave masters that's on the dollar bill that every day. I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy out here, bro, if you really think about it.
It really is, man. There's mad people just doing shit that like, there's I feel like certain people are seeing certain things, but as a whole, like people are just saying things just to sound cool, just because they're trendy, just because it's a hashtag, and then like someone hops on that wave that like is probably the opposite of it, if not in it, but because of where they are in their stature, like they'll say it and people ride behind it. Like, so people, there's a lot of like stuff, a lot of things people don't know about like behind the scenes, or it's just like headline reading. So this person says this, even though their whole entire resume looks like this. So I agree with you on that, man. Like, it's a lot of bullshit coming out in 2020, and a lot of stuff coming out. There's a lot of good stuff being exposed too. But and to backtrack what you were saying before about the like the America thing, like there's definitely a lot of hate in America right now. There's a lot of hate in America for America. And, you know, it's not that the country itself is infallible. Like, obviously, there's fucked up shit in here. But a lot of the things that you are doing, like, you can't bitch about America. You're using America's, like, power to bitch about America. Which is, like, people don't see they're doing it because they're just so spoiled. Like, you can't get away with this shit in other countries. So, like, that's, like, one thing I'm like, bro, like, do y'all not know that, like no matter what political party you are, Trump is the president right now, you know, it's 2020, whatever. Like, you can't just go around talking about Putin in Russia. Like,
No.
it don't work that way. It's like people are like, oh, he's the worst, it's the worst country ever. But I'm like, homie, like, it's kind of like when you're a teenager and, you know, like, oh, I have the worst. I hate you, mom. I hate you, dad. I hate my parents. Like, But you're still taking the money from. Like, you can't complain about the place. You can't complain the way you are complaining about the place you are if you have the same, if you're using the fruits of what the place is about.
Exactly. And for me, it's so funny because I understand, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just if you're in the know, you understand what real tragedy is to people, right? Like you understand what real life tragedy, like people like mass death and like famine and all types of disaster. Like if you had some type of world, understand that those things happen in real life, and America has been sure. It's crazy to see people make certain comparisons, and I like that just automatically tells me they have no idea what they're talking about. Like, if we were under a dictatorship, you would not be able to tweet negative to the president, you would not be able to tweet anything bad about any political. If we were living in a political dictatorship, you know what I'm saying, we would literally be seeing people getting beheaded on TV. Like, this would be something we would see that would be regular. Like, that would be regular. Like, so for people to say, so even like, I'm not saying our current president is the greatest guy in the world, but there's only what, for the media even, like he's allowed media to talk down on him. Like he's only suspended, what, one press pass his whole tour. So like, let's be honest, that's not really Hitler like numbers. Like people just don't know what they're really talking about. And they're living in this fantasy world. And even when they bring up terms like Civil War, people think that's like a light thing. Like that's we just drink a can of Civil War and then it's like we wake up and everything's fixed. Like, no, you're talking about decades and decades of damage that could be done to a country. Like you're talking about like some countries don't even build back from it. And this is like what? We're supposed to be the last stand for freedom in the world. Y'all talking about Civil War over here. Like that opens us up to a lot of nonsense. And people don't understand that because their worldview is just like this, even though they read books and it makes them feel like they've seen a lot, but they never been there. So you haven't seen it. You don't know. You never interacted with the people. So it's crazy to me. You know what I mean?
I think it's crazy too, man. And I mean, it's not enough like conversations going on with stuff like this. You ain't gonna see this in the media, obviously. It's not gonna help with anything. Like, I've heard people say the Civil War thing too, and I'm like, that's like a crazy that it worked. It happened, but it didn't like work out. Well, it's not something you want to encourage, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of like just people just doing things, thinking they're doing the right thing for the wrong reason or doing the wrong thing. They think they're doing the right thing, but then they're not putting enough. They're not layered enough into what the cause is or what they're actually fighting for to know what they actually should or shouldn't be doing. And it's become very apparent to me, like,
it's super, bro. And the weirdest part is, like, I feel like, you know, especially coming up from South Jersey, like, you know what I mean, having that mindset of like, you see it one way and you almost think it's that way, but you're almost like, no, it can't be, right? And even from my last boss, that's how I knew. Like, I finally knew because of the political climate. I was like, I marched in the protests. Like, I'm like really somebody that I believe in Black empowerment. Like, I feel like we need to figure out how we grow our population, grow our success, have businesses, be financially literate, like basically gain economic power. Like, and that's where my political ideology started lying. And he was like, it was almost like I disrupted an agenda for him because he just got so like weird and was like wanting to distance himself and this type of stuff. And I was like, that's cool. I respect what you think politically, but I was like, this is what I believe because I believe in the genuine advancement of Black, not the one that's been promised to us for decades and decades. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was crazy to see how certain people feel like what they standing for is the correct solution while standing in the face of somebody that experienced every day of their life and feeling like they have the more of an answer than that person does themselves. It's like, how do you even look at me in my face with a straight face and think you're saying something correct? Like,
bro, I think you might hit 2020 in a nutshell, bro. That's the biggest part. Like, how you gonna tell me what's right for me more than anything? Like, they don't even. It's crazy. It's crazy. A lot, like I said, a lot of stuff is just for the look, man. It's a lot of stuff for the look for real.
You know what they say, do it for the vine?
Mm-hmm. That's it, man.
That's when it started. We just gonna start doing stuff just to do it for the vine. That's when they made it cool. Just do stuff, do it. Like,
oh man,
crazy,
bro.
man. I mean, I'm just glad like brothers like us just know. And the wild, there's a lot of us, but the media doesn't portray us. They don't like to put us out there and make other people feel that way. Like, that's how I knew when I just under this mindset that like Black people are monoliths. Like Joe Biden wasn't kidding when he said like Black community was a monolith because people, that's what they believe. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, that's actually not true. That's like the same like Asian people are saying they're not. Like, they're literally all walks of life. They have different ideas. Like, all of us have ideas that go one way or the other. Like, it's not no binary. And it's crazy to see that type of behavior come from individuals that will say that the world isn't binary, but they expect us to in a binary line. I'm like, that's too much confusion for me. Like,
That's that's a lot of pizza pie getting cut, vision, lateral, like it's a lot. It's a lot.
it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's wild. Like, my number one thing people don't understand. Like, when I do the way I approach my music is I like making hits. I like making pop music. That's cool. I just knew that that's the stuff that's going to propel. And then when I get to that point, like, I can keep using my voice and people going to finally hear me. Like, my music going to be hot. Like, my music's not really the political side of me. Political side of me is when I'm off the court. Like, that's why I be trying to let people know, like, I'm not doing the politics in my music. My music is when I'm saying, yo, we going to come over and have a good time no matter who you are. But outside of that, when I have a platform, I have a voice, of course, that's for me. That's better for me. For me, it's better to use my voice over there to approach certain things because then I could do a lot more clearly as opposed to leaving it a song. Now you're thinking one way or another. When I leave, oh, my songs is hits. No matter where it's at in the world, people bumping that. But they know when I come around, I come up to the table or when I come to schools and I try to talk to kids and stuff. That's the message that I want to get across. You know what I mean? Like, talk about business literacy, financial literacy, talk about arts, how important the arts are to keep you creative, and not only just creative in an art stance, but like creative when it comes to finances, creative when it comes up with business ideas. Like, creativity doesn't just stem from just music and drawing. People get that messed up. No, creativity helps you when it comes to your graphic design, helps you just when it comes to creating products for the world. If you have a creative mindset, you're going to create something that's going to help society move better. Whether it be engineering, music, it's all creative thinking, you know? So that's how I kind of want to use my platform on that end.
No, man, that's a great way, man. I think I'm similar to the same mindset. I mean, not with music, obviously, but yeah, man, like using your platform to kind of get the message out because a lot of stuff out there that people just like don't click and think kind of having the you that you are, like the financial you that gets the that gets the attention, and having like what you stand for be the real you is like the best way to be, man, because you'll kind of mess your bread up in certain ways if you go too hard on the political stuff on the creative aspect of things, but then you can have your real you stand for and be rock solid with it. And like I agree, man. I'm about this similar philosophy with you on that one, man. Because it's the game we're in, and we're gonna rock it out somehow, man.
Somehow, one way or another, man. Like, that's the thing. I really messed with what I said recently. He said black people can get through any because we can. So like, I don't understand why we are the most talented demographic in powerful in the world, but we yet allow ourselves to be so limited while still knowing we maintain so much power. It is the craziest, like, being black is the wildest dichotomy in the world. And that's the one reason why I understand it is because we are the most powerful yet the most limited in one entity. There's no other entity I can look at in the world that holds that position. You know what I'm saying? To where you're literally so much power when it comes to fashion, music, technology, things. Just like creating society back at things like Egypt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now we have somehow allowed to be limited. Like, you know.
It's true. It's true, man. They try to keep you down how they can, man, and I feel like more of us are definitely getting more waking up and realizing more things, the younger generations. But it's our duty to keep going. Like that's all we can really do, keep the fight going. But there's definitely so much potential and power as far as like influence that we do have, and it's just not like, I guess we just don't see it, or most people just don't realize it. They just kind of listen to what they're told to do. But I guess that's what the this next wave is for. Ye's out there fighting, we fighting too. Shit.
Yeah, we're all fighting, and I can see it too, because like not everybody's trying to put, like, I would say they're like career on line, and I'm learning to balance it too. But like, I can figure it out now, because I knew this is something I wanted to do. So I was like, now is not the time to be silent and wait till I pop. Like, nah, I should do it now. That the people that do grow with me know that's what I stand for. So the people that do back me believe in what I believe in too. You know what I mean? So beauty of being independent, I can control my fan base, not control it in terms of controlling people, but control like the people that I at least want, people that believe in the same sort of ideals for the most part, and say like, this, I actually support this cat. Like, why would I want people behind me that just are just like watching the watch, but not really making a move on the movement? Like, I'm a movement. Like, that's what I need to figure out. Like, how do I do what we do into a movement to inspire these people to create their own movement? So next thing you know, that's how you get the real change in the world. Other than that, it's like, I don't know, man. People just want to do music. I feel like they want to do music for what it comes with it. You know what I mean? The fun, the girls, the fame, all that. But for me, I'm like, that stuff could burn you out, like real quick. Cool, but it could burn you out. Like, I'm more about what can we do to get some real change, like for real.
That's it, man. That's what we got to do. So, Cash, for anybody that wants to follow you or hear more about you hitting music, how do they reach you at?
All my socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all at Close Cash, CLC Cash, CASH. And then my website is simply just www.close.cash. That's it. Or you can Google Close Space Cash and I should pop up.
Cool. Well, Cash, thanks so much for being on the show. Guys, thanks so much for listening, and take care.
Yeah. Bang.
Yo,